The most dangerous business podcast in the world. Entrepreneurs and ambitious people, if you want to build a powerful, profitable, impactful business, if you want to study and fall in love with the process, if you want to acquire the skills, habits, and determination you need to level up in business and in life, that's fantastic because I'm working on the same thing. This is the Game of Grow movement. Welcome back to the Game of Grow podcast. This is episode number 20 of the most dangerous business podcast in the world. It doesn't matter where you start or where you are right now. Are you willing to take the challenge and grow? All right, so we're here to share real life entrepreneurial stories and examples to help you grow your mindset, your skills, and your execution so that you can serve the market better and win the way that you want to win. And today's episode is sponsored by yours truly. And this is for everyone out there who finally wants to stop being about ideas and finally successfully launch their app. And also for those of you, maybe you've been in the app game before, but things weren't working so well for you, or maybe they stopped working. So I'm hosting a free live workshop breaking down exactly what I'm doing to successfully launch and grow my apps today. And yes, that's really possible. You can sign up at appmagic.co/live class, and I'll see you there in class. So on today's show, we are covering another question from the community. I threw out the question, what's the biggest way that I can help you right now? And so what I heard back, I really need an idea of a theme to reskin some of my source codes. So for anyone who's not aware, reskinning, as it's used here, that's a term from the indie app world. And we're going to get into what it means in just a moment, and I'm going to address his question. But the good news here is that if you're in the app game or looking to create apps, this will certainly bring you value. And if you're not looking to create apps at all, it's going to bring you value as well. So last episode, we talked through some of the history of the indie app game and how things have changed. And this definitely relates to all of that. At a high level, here's the punchline of this whole episode. Here's the hard truth. As humans, we're all inherently a little bit selfish at heart, or a lot selfish in some cases. And don't judge the statement. I'm not calling you a bad person. I'm not calling myself a bad person. I'm included in that too. It kind of just is what it is. We want to and need to take care of ourselves first. And it really helps to realize that there's always a person on the other side of the transaction. It's not just a click or a download or a sale, but it's a person. So as someone wanting to start a business or become an entrepreneur, we think, how can I get money? How can I make a return? What's the quickest path to money? Tell me what I have to do to get the money. And listen, there is nothing inherently wrong with that. We all need money to pay bills, feed kids, take care of family, give to charity, buy fun things, whatever. However, as a business owner, leading with how do I get the money is absolutely the reverse of the thought process that will probably help you to get a lot more of the money over the long term. What do I mean by this? First of all, if you're an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, a business owner, whatever you want to call it, customers have your money. So that's the good news. We know where the money is. The money is with the customers. Now, here's the bad news. Just like the customers don't care about your ideas, that was episode number 13, your $1 million idea does not matter until you do this. The customers really don't care that much about giving the money to you, nor should they. Business is about us, the business owners, solving problems and providing value to your customer. And your customer gets to define what that means. I'm not sure if I ever told you guys about the disaster of an education company that I helped to start right out of college. We were helping to match high school students with their ideal colleges that they had the best chances of getting into based on a whole array of data. And I'll save you a whole bunch of time and just say, long story short, everyone thought the idea was cool and cute and smart or whatever, but all of that changed when we asked our customers to pay. No one wanted to because no matter what we thought, they did not see sufficient value in our solution. And so the business made very little revenue and it soon died. I was once told by some smart dude somewhere that the customer's favorite radio station is WIFM, WIIFM, and it's true. What's in it for me? We talked about this before on at least one earlier episode, Everyone is walking around with wants, needs, desires, problems, those kind of things. And those are the things that captivate their attention, not giving you money. Nobody cares whether they do that or not. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not going to spend the money. They definitely are going to give it to somebody, but they don't care if it's you or if it's somebody else. So how can we change that equation? Here's how. At least this is what I think. So if you're able to become a great detective, a professional problem solver, whatever you want to call it, and really, really, truly get inside the head of your perfect customer, have empathy for what they're going through, and provide them a great solution and really show them value in a way that they want to receive value and recognize value, a way that they consider valuable, that's when they're going to start to care and want to spend their money with you. These are the facts. So in order to get money and be profitable, it can be helpful for us to take our mind off of the money for a second. It still matters. Realize that our potential customers are self-interested as well. And rather than thinking about things from our own perspective, try to figure out what it is that they want and what would be appealing to them. Famous entrepreneur and salesman Zig Ziglar once said, "You can get everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want," or something along those lines. And as soft or wishy-washy as that may sound, that's based on solid business principles, and it is absolutely true. So after all that setup, let's get back to the original question around how do I choose a theme for my reskin? For you guys out there who don't know what a reskin is, long story short, you don't choose a theme for your reskin, or at least that's not what's going to get you the result I think you're after. To catch you guys up on the reskin thing, back in the day when the app marketplace was a bit more of a Wild West market, the market is still growing rapidly today in terms of downloads and revenues, but it's certainly more mature now than it was then. So back when it was the Wild West and there were more opportunities to do weird things and get arbitrage and just make money in strange ways, a reskin is when you would purchase source code for a particular kind of app. Maybe it would be a running game or a photography app or a casino game or a productivity app, whatever. You would get a designer to change around the graphics for the source code that you bought. Maybe you're giving it a new theme. Maybe before this app appealed to athletes and now you're reskinning it and changing the look and feel so that it would instead appeal to vegans, for example. Then you could figure out different ways to change it around and add more value to your customer. But oftentimes people didn't. They just changed the graphics and then you upload it to the App Store, figure out how to get traffic, and long story short, you profit, rinse, and repeat. So I said all that, and that's kind of the process, but what's missing here? Well, I really didn't say much about the customer, except we're going to throw a few graphics their way. Well, with the App Store having matured a lot more, free traffic being harder to come by, and there being many more apps and many more apps of high quality, this is just really not going to cut it anymore. Why is the customer going to choose your crappy reskin? Sorry, no offense to anybody, but really think about it. Why would they choose your crappy reskin that really hasn't thought about how you can add value for them, whether that be in the form of entertainment, productivity, inspiration, whatever? What's in it for me? The answer is, of course, that they're not going to choose your app. So if we want the customer to actually care and choose our product, choose our app, or whatever our product is, we need to care about the customer first. Consider what they might find valuable, and then earn their business by bringing them actual value, and then we figure out how to layer a viable business model on top of that so that we can generate revenue and profit. That's how we make the money. So the answer you are looking for, it's not a reskin, but if you can flip your perspective around a little bit and really try to see things through the customer's eyes, I think you're going to be able to make some good progress over time. And in case you're wondering, how do you tangibly do this? This is cool, but how do I actually do this? A great way to find out what the customer wants, well, two ways really. You observe them and you ask them. Assuming you've done a good job of defining who they are, you actually know who you're trying to sell to. You can do this in person, on the phone, in a Facebook group. We do this a lot for Color Noir. Also, Instagram is great. We use that for Color Noir as well. We use all of them. Any social media, really. Basically, you want to be where your customer is so that you can observe them, you can ask them, you can learn about them, and you can serve them. And then you can get the money over the long term. It's not going to be that fast money. It doesn't really exist, by the way. It's not happening overnight. It's not happening by Friday. But if you operate in this way, you have a chance to build a community and you have a chance to build a real asset, something real and long term that can pay you a lot more money over a long period of time. And before we close, I should note that just because reskinning as we knew it is dead, yeah, it's kind of dead, it doesn't mean we have to throw the whole thing away. Some parts of the model are still valid and are still useful. For example, building something starting from an existing source code is still a great way to save time and money, so it can often be a great way to get started in the game while limiting your downside. But just because you're doing this, it doesn't mean that you're excused from considering what's in it for your customer and making sure you provide them an amazing and valuable experience they are happy to pay for. Also, similarly, reskinning can be a great way to just go through the motions and get a feel for the entire process of getting an app created with much lower stakes. And maybe in this case, you're just doing it to learn rather than to get a big result. So guys, I hope that helps you guys a lot. Oh, and I do want to end with a quick story of a young gentleman named Davian Chester. Maybe some of you have heard of him recently, maybe some of you haven't. So June 19th is Juneteenth. Not everyone is aware of this holiday, but Juneteenth is related to emancipation from slavery, and it commemorates the day commemorates June 19th, 1865, when formerly enslaved people in Galveston, Texas were informed that they were now free. So big day. Boom. So this June 19th, 2019, Davian noticed that there was no Google Doodle commemorating the day properly. So he took it upon himself and he made his own doodle. He posted it on social media and it was brilliant. If you haven't seen it and you want to see it, I've reposted it on pretty much all of my social media pages as well as in the Game of Grow community. So check it out. And it turns out when you check out the WeFM on this one, the What's in It for Me, a lot of people actually cared and a lot of people were into this. It's emotional and the image brought them value in some way that they care about. And so they reshared and reshared and reshared relentlessly, same way I did. And all the while, Google is getting tagged over and over and over in the comments. And I'm sure there must have been letters and phone calls and other sorts of petitions. Maybe some people sent a carrier pigeon or a raven. So the word has really been getting out there. Davian's even been on the news to talk about it. And someone even put together a campaign to raise the money so that his image can be posted for 2 weeks on a billboard in his hometown, Columbus, Ohio. And then on June 24th, just 5 days later after the initial post, Davian announced that on Facebook at 1:55 p.m. Eastern Time that Google had offered him a job, and the internet rejoiced. I shared this on my social media pages, and just on my personal Facebook page alone, that post has received 6,300 shares. Shares, not likes and comments, but shares and counting. So, no, in this case, we're not talking about strictly the same thing. We're not talking about being an entrepreneur and making sales. But I hope that this really helps to drive home the power of creating something that people truly find valuable. All right, so real quick, awesome story, by the way. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. But real quick, getting back to the apps for a second. For anyone who's wondering what is the right way to use this concept and to do all of this app thing in 2019, I've mentioned this before, but for anyone who doesn't know, we've gotten our app Color Noir to 12,000 downloads now before the first 2 months are up. Obviously, our customers are finding some value as it now has about 275 ratings and reviews with a 4.7 star average rating, and it's reached as high as the top 200 grossing apps in this category, the apps making the most money. So I'll be hosting a free workshop, as I mentioned, on Thursday, June 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to share exactly how we are achieving these business results in the current climate in 2019 and how you can achieve them for yourself. So this will all be free. It's going to be real, usable, actionable information. And you can sign up for that at magic.co/live class. And I'll see you on the workshop real soon. So I'll include all those links to the workshop, the book, etc. in the show notes for anyone who's interested in what we're doing. So without further ado, that of course brings us to the review of the week. And this one comes from Latai, who says, amazing, 5-star review. Content is a must listen. Can't wait to hear more. Love this show. Thank you so much, Latai. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. So let me know how I can keep on making it a great show for you and how I can bring you value. So guys, of course, that brings us to the question of the week, which again, how can I help you out? The biggest thing I want to do here is I want to make sure the content is valuable to you. So hit me up and let me know. Let me know your biggest challenges. Let me know what you want to hear more of and what you want to hear less of. This is really important to me. So hit me up in the Game of Grow community on Facebook and let me know. And with that, I will see you guys back here real soon on the Game of Grow podcast. It doesn't matter where you start or where you are right now. Are you willing to take the challenge and grow? DJ, drop that beat and take us out. Thank you for tuning in to the Game of Grow movement. If you'd like to hear more, head to gameofgrow.com to sign up for my weekly updates about my own journey as I create the powerful, profitable, and impactful business of my dreams. And I want to hear about your journey as well. And if you want to connect on social media, I'm at Game of Grow on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. On LinkedIn, just search for my name. Don't forget to join us in the Game of Grow community, which you can search for on Facebook. And if you love the show, the biggest way you can help is to subscribe, rate, and review, and then find a like-minded friend you can help to do the same. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.